I've been in practice for about 27 years, and I have lots and lots of tools that give me great information. But none of those tools tell me exactly where the patient's health is on a health continuum. For example, somebody comes in and this machine, this Dinamika HRV, tells me how well their body's regulating, how well its nervous system is. When I say regulation, our whole system, our heartbeat, our respiration, our temperature is controlled by the autonomic nervous system. And this system tells me how well the body is able to regulate under stress and adapt. And it also scores for me exactly where that person's health is at. It gives me an actual biological age. So if somebody says 57 and they look like they're 63, we have work to do. And while we're testing them and giving them nutrients and changing their lifestyle, we can look at that. We can look at that test that we just talked about, the Dinamika HRV, and we can see where their health is going. Are we improving it? It keeps the doctor honest, and the patients love to see where they're at any time. So it's showing us, again, on that health continuum, exactly where they're at. It tells me how their brain's functioning. It tells me how well all the regulatory systems in the body are able to regulate. And if they're not, that person's health is going to go in the wrong direction. And I wish I had this system years ago, because I do this on every patient. I get a baseline reading on them. And then after I do a therapy, in just a few minutes, it's super easy, I can look again and see, well, did that therapy help them? Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore. You have this system that can measure your patients before and after, and you can show them the changes, and they love to see that. It's a wonderful system. It's fast, it's easy to interpret, and we put together a fantastic education package, because there's been lots of times when we purchase technology where the education is not up to par, and the doctor's pulling his hair out trying to figure it out. We put a great manual together that can be downloaded when you purchase the system on our website. And we're going to have videos, advanced videos, that will be on there for you to learn. Heart rate variability is very well researched. There's thousands and thousands of papers on heart rate variability. And we know that by looking at heart rate variability, it gives us an indication, again, of how well the autonomic nervous system is able to regulate. And again, the autonomic nervous system controls all your body functions, the two parts of that autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic and parasympathetic. And they have to be able to flow and be adaptive. When they're not, then we're setting ourselves up for functional diseases. And it's known that if somebody has a very low heart rate variability, they have a much higher chance of having a heart attack on a Monday morning. And that's very important. But what's unusual about the system that we have is it also measures brain activity in the cardial pulse. That's very unusual. None of the heart rate variability systems have that. And so we can look and see how well the brain is adapting to stress and to the environment as well. And we find that's very, very informative as far as how well that patient's able to handle stress, not just from the autonomic nervous system, but what's going on with the central nervous system. And it also tells us, again, on this system, if they're getting enough nutrients and oxygen to the brain. So we can then take the necessary steps to start to work in that area. What sets this system aside from all other HRV systems is that it's not just looking at traditional heart rate variability, it's looking at central nervous system function, it's looking at other systems, 600 different biorhythms in the body and how they're regulating. So it's looking at a massive regulatory system, which is our body, and if you see things breaking down and not able to regulate, then you know that that person's health is going in the wrong direction. Now, on that same note, there's something in there called fractal neurodynamics. And it's a new science of looking at fractals and how our body functions in that mathematical equation, where it gives us indications of what direction the body's health is headed. So you'll be able to see from that, is the patient stable where their health is at, or is the person's health going downward in the wrong direction, or is it going in the right direction? And so you can get from this this fractal neural dynamics, it gives you a new way of looking at your patient's health. Fractal neural dynamics is a whole science that is an emerging science in physics, and it has some biological applications that the Russians have figured out and they've put into this system. And it has to, mathematics has a lot to do with the codes. The mathematical codes have a lot to do with the DNA and how the body actually works. And I think we're going to see a lot more technology that has to do with decoding information from a mathematical standpoint and being able to use that information to imprint that back into the body. The reason you should buy this system is because you need to have some method that tells you at any time where your patient's health is at. You need to know if what you're doing is improving their health or not, so you can change course when you need to change course. The beautiful thing about this test is that it's completely non-invasive. Now, we have lots of tools to monitor people's health, like blood chemistries, which we still use. But to look globally at how how a person's whole health is working together, because we're not separate. This is looking at the whole totality of how the nervous system and central nervous system is regulating the whole body, the whole caboodle. And it's not fragmented like a lot of our other tests. So this is a great window into your patient's health. And it only takes a few minutes. And it's reasonably priced.